Hey guys, welcome back to Tango Romeo 87, where we're finishing up another day of hard work on the bus. So on today's video, I'm going to take the winky lights out on the back of the bus and fill those spots in. We'll put a steel panel in, a little body filler. I'll show you step by step how to make them look like they were never there.
And today I'm going to work on the driver's side of the bus on the windows because we did not do those. Because last time we learned about all the leaks on the passenger side of the bus, so now we know what we're doing.
It was a whole lot easier this time because we put them in the way they need to be in now. Tracy will have to come back one evening this week and do the caulk that you saw in our last episode. We got a kind of a late start today, which was bad because it was like 97 degrees with a heat index of 115. But we stayed up last night watching a lot of content of one of our new favorite YouTube channels. And we watched it and learned a lot of things, and then we ended with the last one with our guts hurting from laughter. So y'all need to check out
Allie and Lance.
It's Allie and Lance on YouTube. We'll provide a link right down below so you can click it. Give them some love the same way you do us. If you're not already subscribed to that, if you're part of the 97% of people that watch this channel and don't subscribe, change that today. Subscribe to the channel, go down, just click subscribe, give us a thumbs up, write a comment if there's something else that you'd like to see during this bus build process, and hit the bell for notification. And for Allie and Lance, go to their channel and subscribe. Show them some love. You're going to like them. They're up and coming. We're in the middle of a bus build. They're already out living the dream life, and they've got some great locations they're going to. And I've spoke with them, and they're going to add a lot more content and be pretty consistent. So Allie and Lance, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
No.
So let's get on this bus build and show them the footage from what we did out here today in the hottest day I've seen so far in North Carolina.
All right.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.
Welcome back. We've had a week off because we worked on our hip camp last weekend. This weekend we are going to work on the bus again. Problem being, as you can see, Tracy's cool little hat and her little UV shirt. Here in North Carolina, the temperatures are starting to really soar. The UV index is pegging the meter. I came home yesterday. I had to work at the real job at the dealership, and I mowed yesterday afternoon. I didn't start until about 3 o'clock, so I thought, yeah, sleeveless shirt, shorts. I got sunburnt, and I don't sunburn easy, so that was something. The big thing that we ran into is while we were gone, somebody vandalized our bus.
No, they didn't. You did it.
Well, okay, I vandalized the bus because we were out here working on windows again the other evening, and I spray painted a peace sign on the bus because I wanted to be the ultimate hippie. And then the 143. For those of you that might be too young or just don't know, back in the days when we had pagers, you could send a 143 message in a pager, and it meant what?
I love you.
It's a 1-letter word, a 4-letter word, and a 3-letter word. Tracy and I still text 143 multiple times a day, even with our children and grandchildren. 143 is a big thing around here. So that's my hand at graffiti. So today we'll get those winky lights off the bus, and I don't know what else to call them. So they go like this. So to me, they're winky lights. I'll start here in the back. We're going to get these off. We're going to put a piece of steel in from the back side. I'll weld mine in, but I'll tell you there's another method to do it if you don't have a welder. I won't actually do it, but I can explain easily enough how you do that. We'll put steel on the back side once everything's out, and we'll take a little bit of auto body filler and fill those in and sand them smooth, and then we'll be able to prime that upper section of the bus. So it's going to be hot. I don't know how long we'll stay out here. It's yeah. The heat index today will probably be hit 119, 120. So once we get zapped out and done, we'll do something else. I'll work on these, and I'll have Tracy show you where the wiring's at and how to secure that the proper way so that you don't get lost when you're taking wiring out. Let's get at it.
By the way, Winky Lights, seeing how he has dark sunglasses on, go like this.
Oh yeah, if I got sunglasses on, you didn't see my cool winky light. Better? Good catch, Tracy.
Yeah.
Let's get at it.
All right. What I'm going to do is take all these wires loose. I'm going to do one light at a time and tape them together and label them so when we go to take the wiring out, we don't mistake it for tail lights or whatever, marker lights, whatever. And while I'm doing this, Rob's gonna go take the lights out. These come out really easy. They just pop off. Here are all 4 of the wires. And I don't want to get them mixed up. I am going to just put painter's tape around them. And write Winky on it.
Okay, taking these out of here shouldn't be that difficult of a job. Keep in mind the bus is 30 years old. There's just holes around the lens that have standard Phillips head screws in most cases. Take the cover off and then you can take the light out, which Tracy's already got the wiring loose. But I probably am going to have to go up here and dig in them because mud daubers and other creatures over the years will build nests in them. So let me start cleaning on those and see what comes out. Not surprised they're full of mud and debris. Just use a little pick, sharp on one end, to go in there and clean up the heads of those screws. Alright. Now you'll need a long bit on your drill because the rain covers on these make it hard to get into if you don't. Just take the screws out. All we gotta do is take the cover off. And you've got 2 clamps that hold the light in. So we'll take those 2 clamps off. They just look like this, and they just clamp the light in against the housing. Tracy's already got the wires off, so the light is out. Now, the record, I've never removed one of these from a bus, but I'm thinking it comes off just that easy. That leaves us a nice flat surface on the inside. This has got a flare. I was afraid that this was going to be built as part of the bus, which was going to really screw up my plans of being able to put the steel on from the inside. So there's one cover off. Now we've got a big magnet on wheels that we roll around the bus when we do a project like this, because inadvertently some of these screws are going to fall. And you don't want to run over them with the tires on the bus, so we use our big rolling magnet around the bus constantly to make sure we don't have any screws or rivet pieces that are laying in the grass. Might have a use for those somewhere in the bus later. They may show up. So I've got this off now. The key thing to remember when you put body filler on is that you put body filler on bare metal, you have really good adhesion. You put them on the old paint, probably not. So once I get the other side off, then we'll come along and sand all of this where we're going to feather the body filler. The body filler is basically going to fill these screw holes and these big holes. So it's going to be kind of thin and completely eliminate the old winky light. We'll get the back done and then we'll work on the front maybe later today if the heat hadn't got too bad. So I'm going to go check on Tracy. She's cleaning up the steel so that we can get it cut to these winky holes. Now, some of y'all leave these on here and just paint over them. I don't have a suggestion on those. On our bus, we decided we wanted them off of there so that we could do other things with that space. All right, got all the paint stripped off around where the lights were in the bus on the outside. We're gonna go in real quick and get a sanding done on the inside section of it. We're gonna cut our steel, tack weld it all inside. I'm gonna go get a big glass of ice water because my tongue is sticking to the roof of my mouth. It's hot out here. But if I want a bus, we're gonna work on a bus. We're not gonna be able to take a break because it got hot or because it got cold. As soon as we get the outside of the done, and you know, I see that on social media a lot. People ask, what should I do, the inside or the outside? And why do people do the outside before they do the inside? I don't know what everybody's case is, but in ours, we have to get the entire roof sanded down. We've got to make some measurements on our solar panels. We've got Renogy 320 watt panels. There'll be a total of 6 of those on the roof of the bus. We're not putting a roof deck on because it creates a lot of insurance issues now. So there's a few things that we've changed just because we want to be able to insure into the future without having to take things back off the bus in order to maintain our insurance policy. So we'll put 6 of the 320 watt panels. We want to get our rails made for that, welded and prefabricated, bolted to the roof of the bus, and check for leaks before we do the inside. As soon as we get the roof hatch out and we can put the max air fan in, the roof is pretty much done. We can go ahead and put a floor in the bus and start working on things like wiring and all that inside the bus to get ready to start insulating. But we can't do any roof insulation or do any sealing until those solar panel rails are mounted and we know that they're gonna match up right. So let's go inside and get some of that stuff done in the bus and get ready to weld these panels in. But the key to getting a good weld is making sure that you've got all the grease and paint and everything off and you're welding metal to metal. You don't want any rust or anything like that. Rust causes some serious spatter. So I'll get these pieces cut and we'll get them welded in. Somebody asked me in the last video that I did welding in, and I was putting flat steel on. They said, what'd you do with your ground clamp? What I do is take a little piece of steel and just tack it to the back side of it so I can clip my clamp to it. Once all the welding's done, I just take the grinder and cut that back off of the steel, and then I can move on. Once these are welded in, then we'll be ready to mix up some auto body filler and go fill the outside. I did check in the house a minute ago while I was in there. The temperature is 97 degrees, heat index is 115. We've got the little tab welded onto there, so we're gonna put these up into the holes. We're gonna start our tacks around them, and that part's gonna be done. Now, I told you there was another way to do this, and I would tell you, I would explain it to you. I'm not gonna do it because I'm doing mine one way, and if you don't weld, you can put these pieces of plate in here and use a piece of butyl tape or something to hold them and drill holes, and then go to the outside and put your rivets through and rivet them in. What you'd have to do at that point is take your sander and sand down the tops of the rivet heads so they're a little bit flatter, a little bit smoother, not enough that the actual rivet can pull through, but then your body filler would have to be a little thicker because it'd have to ride out to the tops of the rivet heads to get that all smooth. But if you don't weld, you can always drill and rivet these pieces of plate in here to fill these holes. Let me go back here and start welding. Both sides are welded in. Not the prettiest job. The 16 gauge versus the 18 gauge makes it a little hard, but it doesn't look bad. There's a lot of warpage on this corner over here. Tracy, you okay?
Yep.
All right. Tracy's putting windows in, and that little piece that goes in the bottom is horrible to stay there. So we'll have a little more auto body filler work on this right side of the bus than we will the left side, setting good. It's almost like the bus has been hit before and somebody's repaired it. I noticed that the winky lights themselves were, the covers, the rain covers were bent as if it's backed into something, but we'll get that worked out and it'll look excellent. If I can put up with the sun out there, then I should be able to get the body filler in there pretty quick. We're ready to mix up some body filler and fill in the holes. As you can see, the plate is pretty even on this side. On that side where it's warped a little bit, we've got a 1/8 to 1/4 inch gap. Different places along it, but that's okay. We'll use the body filler to level that up. Now, when you fill these holes, don't just fill the holes or you're gonna have these circles that show up when you paint. Feather it out a little bit. Put it in there about a 1/16 of an inch thicker than what you mean to put it in there, and that gives you a little bit to sand down and feather your edges. I'm by no means an expert on auto body work, but I do okay. I've done some over the years. The point is cut it down, sand it smooth before you paint, but we'll go over every step of it. I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some body filler now. Wear gloves, because the hard stuff, once you mix the hardener with it, comes off pretty easy. Just follow the directions on whatever body filler you buy. I'm just using a bondo type. I'm not using a fiberglass. I do have a couple places in the hood that I have to patch with fiberglass, but that's a different story. So it's just a plastic filler I picked up at AutoZone or O'Reilly's or one of those places. I think it's really too hot out here to be putting the filler on because the steel's so hot that it's kind of gobbing up. But we'll let that sit, and we'll see how it turns out. We'll have to cut that down a good amount and put a top coat on it. I'll go ahead and mix up and do the other side, and I'll catch up with y'all a little bit later once we're ready to sand it down. Start sanding down on this a little bit, get it ready for the second coat. It's had time to dry. That side over there, I hope you can see in the video, you still got the rings from the lights because you had that wave in it. We'll end up with a second coat on that. There, as you can see, all you need to do is sand it down. Right now we're doing a rough cut with a 60 grit sandpaper. We'll get it all nice and smooth. We'll get it level, get it worked the way we want. We may end up putting a thin top coat back on it. Then we'll move down and we'll move down and we'll move down until we end up with eventually 320 grit sandpaper and a nice smooth finish, and then we'll get a shot of primer put on it. So I'm gonna continue sanding, and I'll catch back up with you because we're probably going to go in. It's just getting so hot out here right now that we may take a few hours off here in the heat of the day and come back out here again this evening. Tracy's sealing the final windows on the left side of the bus. You remember we did the video on the leaks we couldn't find. So this evening we'll get silicone in all of those. Stay busy today. My mouth's dry again. I'm going to have to go inside and kind of sit in the air conditioning and chill out for a little bit. But we'll catch up with you later. We're back. It's a little later in the evening and a lot cooler out here now than it was earlier. I've got the sanding done on this side, and I've got all the sanding done around the door where we deleted that door in the other video. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of water with a little bit of Zep degreasing solution, wipe everything down, and I'll get a quick coat of primer on it just to protect it. Then I can go back to work on the monstrosity that was mangled. I really think that the bus backed into something because both of the rain covers, the winky light rain covers, were bent in. So it's kind of got a warp in that, and we're trying to work that out with a little bit of body filler. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get this one cleaned up and paint it so you can see how nice it actually looks. Once it's done, all the edges are sanded down. We started with a 60 grit sandpaper, went to 100, went to 220, and went to 320 grit to finish. put a nice smooth finish on it. Like I said, I'm no expert at this, but take your time and be patient and you can get a pretty good result. Okay, we'll let it dry and we'll shoot some primer. Not really worried about taping off up there because we got a lot of painting to do on the back of the bus. I will have to tape off around the door just to keep it off of the glass and off of the fixtures. We're just going to use a Rust-Oleum automotive primer. All I want to do is where I've got the bare metal exposed, I just want to get something over that until we get back here and do a final sanding on the bus. Get ready to paint the back of it. We've decided on our bus when we paint it, we'll like paint the back and then we'll do one side and we'll just work on a little bit each evening in between other projects. I hope this video helps you. Remember, subscribe to the video, give us a like, a thumbs up, and hit the bell for notification for our weekly updates and sometimes bi-weekly. Got some pretty good videos coming up. We're doing this one step at a time in as much detail as we can to help you if you're looking for an option on something to do on your bus. So subscribe. We need those subscribers. All right, let's get some paint on this. And there you go, guys. One winky light completely gone. So you can see it turned out really good. That was the whole goal of this video. Hope it helped you. If you see something you liked, put a comment down below. If you see something that can be done better, put a comment. Here at Tango Romeo 87, we don't know everything, but we know pretty good ways to do things and to make a good solid bus on a budget. So thanks for watching, and we'll have another video coming out this week. At some point I've got to sit down and get some more filming done on it, and it'll be more about YouTube and the bus life and the van life, so watch for that. But thanks, guys, and hopefully if you decide to take your winky lights off, this helped you, and this will be something that you can do to give it a nice look. We'll catch you in the next video.